How many of you remember the big Sears and Roebucks Christmas catalog, as big as a phone book with hundreds of pages dedicated just to toys? In the 1920s, catalog shopping started as a convenient way for consumers to celebrate their economic prosperity. Anything you could wish for, dream of, and want was in that catalog. The supply chain was abundant, not only toys, but also new gadgets and gadgets for mom and dad and the home, such as waffle irons and vacuum cleaners. Fast forward to the 2020s, and if you were one of the lucky ones, you got an Amazon Christmas catalog delivered right to your doorstep. As a sign of the times, kids have an Amazon box recycling exercise, and that modern day vacuum cleaner is now a robotic vacuum for a mere $600. Different too are the toys for the tykes, which may not get here in time with supply chain issues. Relating this to a business world, how are you updating your catalog for today's world? Do you have a diverse book of leaders who represent a variety of gender, race, religion, and backgrounds? Are the pages of your culture reading authenticity, transparency, and seeking to understand? If not, it might be time to update your catalog of a company to attract the supply of right employees, clients, and business. Twana, what are your thoughts?
Yes, Kimberly, I did receive that Amazon catalog. It definitely brought back many memories of being excited when those huge Christmas catalogs would arrive. Different markets and different economies for different times. In the roaring 20s, the American economy exhibited rapid rates of economic growth, launching the US into a dominant position in international trade and global business. This impressively vigorous economic growth led to a decade of dramatic economic developments with innovations in business markets. Historians write, and I quote, economic growth allocates resources from declining or slower growth sectors to the more expanding sectors in accordance with new technology, new products and services, and changing economic tastes. End quotes. New products and new services created new markets and encouraged risk taking. In the roaring 2021, the market once again is purpose for risk taking. The American economy is experiencing historic market disruptions ascribed to the pandemic and social and labor reformations. Witness the stalled supply chain, evidenced by the empty store shelves. To drive economic growth, resources will gravitate from declining or slower sectors to developing or expanding sectors. New products and services will create new markets. Leaders, are you positioned for the new markets? Matt, what are you sharing about these new and sometimes old economies?
Thanks, Twana. You know how we previously discussed how the modern office was invented in the 1920s? Well, guess what else was invented in the 20s? Supply chain management. It was first successfully implemented at the Ford Motor Company in order to mass produce cars. Ford grew a complex network of manufacturing suppliers throughout the Midwest. In recent decades, efforts to minimize supply chain costs saw a number of trends, such as moving production to lower cost regions of the world, like China, and minimizing inventory with techniques like just-in-time delivery. Now, low cost and efficiency have come at the expense of resiliency, and the COVID pandemic is shining a bright light on the lack of resiliency in global supply chains, with disruptions occurring all along the chain. Lack of materials, labor shortages, even cargo ship container availability has become an issue as containers are being abandoned in areas to which emergency medical supplies have been delivered. Clearly, global supply chains are not yet prepared for a world in which we'll continue to see a series of climate, labor, and health-related disruptions. As Ford did 100 years ago, I'm eager to see how supply chains will increasingly build in resilience in order to adapt to changing circumstances. Reliability will be necessary to keep shelves from becoming empty, like Twana points out, especially keeping those toys on the shelves for kids during the holidays.